It's Tuesday, August 7th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, we get our weekly update with Barnstable Police Chief Sonneman, learn more about an osprey nest in Osterville, and look ahead to this weekend's Pops by the Sea. Let's start with some news you can use. Hundreds gathered on the town green last Friday afternoon to celebrate Unity Day, an event that connects members of the community to the town and the Barnstable Police Department. It was started in 2016 by the People of Action, a local mentoring group for youth in the community. Free hot dogs, hamburgers, children's games, and dancing on the Hyannis Green were some of the highlights of the afternoon. But the dunk tank and a Hug Me soda machine were the stars of the event. Unity Day is the brainchild of brothers Andre and Jesse Barboza from Hyannis, who first reached out to former Police Chief Paul McDonald in 2016, seeking to engage officers with the community that they serve. Here are some highlights.
Where are these highlights? Sorry, I didn't load anything.
News clips, 2018 Unity Day.
Okay. I was trying to find it while you were talking and I couldn't find it, so.
Sorry,
No, that's
they're my
okay.
fault. Here is a heartwarming tale about 3 baby osprey chicks who lost their home to a fire in Osterville. Natural Resource Officer Devin Harrington tells us about how 3 organizations work together to re-nest the fledglings in Osterville. A success story of an osprey rehomed after a fire. We don't always see this, and with me today, Devin Harrington, who is a natural resource officer for the town of Barnstable and an aquaculture specialist. This is just an amazing story. Brings tears to my eyes and joy to my heart that 3 little babies have found their parents, have found a new home. Let's talk about what the incident was and how natural resources and other entities here on Cape Cod work together.
So you're right, Paula, this is a very exciting story. So what we had happen on Wednesday in Osterville last week, a osprey nest caught on fire, which isn't a crazy occurrence that happens here on Cape Cod because we have so many osprey nesting on different telephone poles. Sometimes this does happen. Specifically with this incident, what happened was the protector that they put over the pole actually cracked. and that's how the electricity kind of got up to the nest. So it wasn't because of the osprey. We want to make sure people understand that, you know, we have a lot of osprey nesting on a lot of poles, and every single one does not catch on fire. That's not what happens. But in this situation, we had 3 chicks who were able to be saved from the fire, and they went to wild care to be rehabbed and, like you said, re-nested and rehomed. So that happened almost a week later on Monday. We were able to make that happen. So there were natural resources involved. Myself and another officer was on scene. And then, of course, because it involves electricity and the telephone pole, Eversource was also there, and then along with Amy Webster from Wild Care, who brought our 3 chicks.
So we're going to just back up a little bit here. So the osprey have really, their numbers have come back.
Yes.
So I've noticed just in my own neighborhood that there's more nests this year than there's ever been. So they're not endangered anymore, but they're still protected.
Correct.
Okay.
So back in the 1970s, osprey numbers plummeted along with other large birds in the area because of pesticides being used, DDT. It caused the thinning of the eggshells, so they weren't able to successfully reproduce. You know, so regulations were in place to protect those animals federally and statewide, and now they're no longer endangered or threatened, but they are protected under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. So a lot of, you know, people watching in the general public will understand this, because if you have boats and you have homes that osprey like to nest on, you're allowed to clear off any sticks or nesting material that they have put in place, but only up to until they have eggs in the nest. Once those eggs are there, that nest is protected federally.
Wow.
Yes.
So you estimated that there's almost 700?
So yeah, that estimate comes from the state. So the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and their biologists, that's kind of where the number lies. And then Mass Audubon projects that there's around 300 nest sites, but you know, that's all kind of the best guess because they're no longer a species that's tracked. You know, like something like the piping plover or least tern, you know, those are both threatened and endangered species.
Right. So the success of this, you know, these 3 organizations coming together, you know, did you just throw some sticks up on the pole and the mama and daddy came back, or what?
Not exactly.
Not exactly.
So it was, yeah, a lot of coordination going on. There was, you know, a lot of, and even an officer who wasn't actually physically there that day, she did a lot of coordination just between Eversource and our department. You know, we need to make sure any efforts are all safe efforts. So, you know, the electrical grid had to get shut down in that area. You know, they put up the specific rubber tubes and whatnot, and we needed specialists on scene to be able to handle putting the new makeshift nest up on the pole. So it's, you know, a platform that hangs adjacent off of the telephone pole. Which you can see in some of the pictures that are going through the screen.
Right, and this is Bridge Street, West Bay area
Yes.
of Osterville.
Right.
We've had another incident that wasn't quite as a happy ending, which was in Craigville
Yes.
as well, just a week or so ago. And that one was, again, another pole fire.
Yes.
And we lost a chick from that one.
Yes, unfortunately, not all the chicks survived that fire, which can be the case sometimes. You know, this nest caught on fire, I think, late Sunday evening, right after a rainstorm, and that's, you know, something that can happen and help the, you know, conductivity of the electricity kind of move up. You know, and Eversource is proactive about these incidents, that they'll put up the barriers to kind of deter the osprey from coming back and nesting in that site. But it's definitely, you know, a management situation that everyone involved is looking at.
So, osprey, again, you can't really rehab these birds. Why?
So osprey are raptors, so they're, you know, a species that is heavily involved in hunting and feeding, and that's kind of what they do throughout their day. So it's really important that the babies learn all they need to learn from mom and dad. So you can rehab them to a certain point. You know, you can get them big and feed them fish, but you can't treat and you can't teach all those instincts. So that's why it was really, really exciting to be able to get these 3 fledglings back up to the nest, because they only had, Amy Webster with Wild Care projected that they only had a matter of 2 weeks to a month to being fully fledged. So, you know, they're already practicing flying. So once we got them up on the actual nesting platform. They were on the edge with their wings out, making all of us really nervous on the bottom that they were just going to kind of fall right out. But they didn't. They're still there, and mom and dad are there, feeding them.
Right.
And yeah, they're doing awesome.
So what I thought was interesting is that a seagull went and checked out
Yes.
the nest as it was
Yes.
being built back up on the pole, and all of a sudden the mother came right out.
Yes, so we, it took a couple of hours to get everyone involved there and decide on the specific location, because we did end up moving it from that original nesting site. The birds have already started to re-nest on a pole, within 300 feet of the original nest. So Amy, along with our department, decided to, kind of try and shift it over there, and so we had some more people involved. So by the time we got all the birds up there and all the sticks, and we used the reeds to kind of build this nice little homey spot, we had osprey adults, circling within the area. But as you may know, all ospreys do look exactly the same. There's, we don't tag them and we don't mark them. So the only way for us to know is, yes, that's mom and dad, is if they go to the physical chicks and start feeding them. So we had this incident where a seagull swooped in, check out the babies, what's that? And then all of a sudden mom was right there on scene, and that was kind of the encouragement she needed to go for it. And then the next morning, mom and dad were there feeding the chicks. So
That is just what a cool story and a heartwarming story. Let's just kind of end this with, there's so many osprey. What is the town of Barnstable and Natural Resources kind of looking at to the future here? Because there's a management issue at this point in time. What is your department doing?
Right, so the osprey come into play in our department because they are a species that's protected under federal and state law. So, if anyone comes across an injured osprey, or they have a nest with chicks in it, it's something our department gets involved in. With this specific issue, it also involves Eversource, as you can imagine. This is an issue that they want to resolve as well. So basically, you have to time it right. You have to build these platforms when the birds are not here, because as soon as we start to try and build something, they'll build their nest elsewhere. And that's kind of what happened with one of these specific spots. It was a hot spot that we wanted to move. So it's a winter project that we definitely will be working with Eversource, going forward. And we have some hot spots picked out that already have a lot of osprey in them, and nesting locations on telephone poles. So those will probably be the first ones that we start with. But it is, it's a big project that involves lots of different entities. So, but we'll definitely get it done.
What a great win for you this week.
Yeah, it was exciting.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming and talking about it, Devin.
Thank you for having me.
In the eyes of Chief Sonneban, tomorrow is the best day of the year. Chief Sonneban's on the phone with us today. It's Kids Day.
Yes, tomorrow is Kids Day, the big annual event that was started many years ago by Detective Kevin Connolly and a group that he works with, some firefighters and everything, all got together and decided to have this day. And here we are, almost 20 years later, and it's still going strong, maybe even stronger than ever. It's just awesome. It's a great event. Going to have some free stuff for the kids, food, ice cream. We're going to have the foam battle, or the firefighters are going to bring the foam, demonstrations. The canine demonstration is always a big hit. The Shriners are usually down there with the little cars driving around the track. It's a great day. It really is, to bring the family down there and the kids and interact with the police, not just us, but the fire departments and everything else, and enjoy some activities and some free fun on a nice August day.
It's going to be hot, so we want to make sure
Yes, it is.
people hydrate for the day as well, and wear those tank tops and shorts and flip-flops.
Sunblock.
And sunblock, exactly. So
Yeah.
we have all 5 fire departments for tomorrow?
We will have COM Fire at least.
Okay.
Unfortunately, and I didn't really, Hyannis Fire Department suffered a loss recently.
That's right.
With Lieutenant Rick Knowlton, and I know that they're in the process of planning for wakes and funerals and stuff. So I anticipate that they will be there, but I don't know if they will be there in as strong a force as they usually are, because I know they've got a lot going on right now.
Right.
But, the fire departments will be there. The State Forestry Department's usually there. Yarmouth PD usually comes down there. The Sheriff's Department. It's a good turnout. A lot of different public safety agencies. and some good information for parents too. I think Operation Identikid is usually down there and processing kids and doing fingerprints and stuff like that. But lots of stuff. Bounce houses, and usually they had a water feature last year. Hopefully that'll be up and running again this year because it's, like you said, it's going to be a warm day out there on the field.
Well, then maybe you'll be in the dunk tank.
Oh, I don't know. I think there might be a possibility of that. We shall see. Be a nice way to cool off, though, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Now I will be down there as usual, and we'll be talking with the kids and just spending some good quality community time.
Excellent. And what else do you have for us this morning, Chief?
Well, switching gears a little bit from Kids Day, I just wanted to remind everybody. I know it's we're in the throes of a beautiful August and a nice warm stretch of weather, but everyone will notice that the weather is kind of tropical out there, and we still have to be thinking about hurricane season. People want to, take the time to prepare, and in this area of the country, in the wintertime and in this time of year, you got to be prepared to spend maybe a couple of days on your own or without power. So have some water and some food items, non-perishable food items and whatnot. Don't have to worry about being too cold in this time of year, but you want to have some blankets ready just in case, and you want to, like I said, have the water and the food items ready, and you want to have a radio with some batteries in it so you can keep updated. And above all, you want to have maybe a little bit of patience. If the power goes out, the crews will be working on them, but just keep in mind that it's going to take a little while to get some stuff restored, and be prepared to be self-sufficient for a little while.
Right. We had this notice from our doctor's office, too, at this time of year, is to order medications. If you do express scripts or something like that, is to make sure that you've already got those in the mail in August.
That is an excellent point that a lot of people don't think about. When you start thinking about the elderly and others are, not necessarily elderly, but dependent on medication, diabetics and things like that, you want to have, in certain times of the year, you want to have a little bit of a stockpile on hand for a couple of days in case you can't get to the pharmacy or you can't get to your doctor. You don't want to be without your medication.
All right. And talking about patience, Chief, let's reiterate one more time, will we? Let's be patient out there.
Well, let's say there's a hit list. Patience, be nice, be courteous, all this other stuff. But patience is, yes, number one. Driving around, riding on your bike, even walking these days, out there as a pedestrian. Just because you're out there walking doesn't mean that everyone has to, is going to be aware of what you're doing. You also have to be self-aware of what you're doing. Take a minute before you step out in the street. Take a look around. If you got headphones on, playing with your phone, take a moment to look up and look around at your surroundings, because you don't know what you might be walking into. Literally, you step out off the sidewalk into traffic or around a car where somebody, a driver of a vehicle can't see you. You're putting yourself in danger, or you could trip on something or whatever. But you really need to pay attention to your surroundings and what's going on around you, because you don't want to get caught short. You don't want to get hurt, certainly. And we have had a number of pedestrian accidents over the summer. People just, and what a lot of it comes down to is inattention and patience. People just are in a hurry to get to where they're going, and they expect that other people are going to stop for them, and people don't always see you.
Right. And I'll be patient in the hot dog line tomorrow, I promise.
How about the ice cream line? You're not going to be patient in the ice cream line?
Not patient in the ice cream line. No,
that
it's
melts.
too hot.
You can't have any patience there, right?
Exactly, Chief. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. See you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Take care.
Bye.
The 33rd Citizens Bank Pops by the Sea concert on Sunday, August 12th, transforms the town green into a magical musical venue. This long-standing fundraiser benefits the Arts Foundation of Cape Cod's year-round mission of supporting, celebrating, and promoting the arts and culture of Cape Cod. Julie Wake, Executive Director, fills us in on all the details. In just a few short weeks, the town green will be transformed into a magical musical venue. With me today, Julie Wake from the Arts Foundation. Julie, Pops by the Sea.
Yay!
It's almost here again. August
know.
12th, we're going to see a beautiful white tents. We're going to see people on the lawn enjoying just the most fabulous music. Tell us a little bit about the event.
It's a lovely day. It starts off at about 1 o'clock where we have a pre-show. This year we have Cape Harmony and Hyannis Sound, and we also have DJ Ian Sinetti, who will be filling this lawn, the green, with all kinds of different music, and people can picnic on the lawn, or you can sit in a festival seat, or you could sit in the VIP section. Like you said, there'll be white tablecloths and tents and music, and it's just a great day.
It's a wonderful day. And what does the Pops really represent to the Arts Foundation? This is a fairly large undertaking that you do every year. Why?
Yeah, it's been going on for 33 years. And it actually started out before the Arts Foundation. The Arts Foundation was born out of the success of Pops by the Sea. Oh. Yeah, and so this will be our 33rd year, and it's really a fundraiser for the arts. So the money that we raise during the Pops by the Sea concert goes right back into the creative economy through grants, fellowships, and scholarships for local artists, cultural organizations, and students.
That's fantastic. And again, because of our creative economy, how large and varied it is, having an event like this that supports that is just wonderful.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to celebrate the arts.
Great. So let's talk about the guest conductor, one of my favorites.
What's your favorite? Well, it's Dermot Mulroney this year, who is a well-known actor, and he's also a cellist, a very accomplished cellist. Right. He'll be conducting and actually playing his cello. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. Yeah.
Who knew?
I know. It's going to be pretty awesome. Yeah.
It is.
What's your favorite Dermot Mulroney movie?
I think all of them, really. I'm not going to pick just one. You know, it's kind of like Sam Elliott, you know.
Yeah.
You see him in one movie and you like them all, right?
Right. Well, if you have an opportunity, you should see Mozart in the Jungle.
Okay.
Because he's playing a cello in Mozart in the Jungle, and it's part of being in a symphony, and so I always tie it together. If you don't know Dermot Mulroney, that's a great opportunity to see him in action.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So we're going to start at 1 o'clock. When does the concert actually kick off?
So Keith Lockhart will come out at 5 o'clock, and the concert will go from 5 to 7.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, you know, the Esplanade Orchestra is absolutely fabulous. The sound that comes out of that shell, you're astounded at that small orchestra and how much sound that they have.
I know, it's mind-blowing, and it really takes you back and introduces you to a whole new art. And I mean, it's not new, it's actually been around for a long time, but if you haven't experienced a live orchestra, this is a great opportunity to experience that live music. You can feel it in your bones when you're sitting at the concert, no matter if you're in the VIP or in the lawn section. It's a great day to experience music.
Yeah. And do they have a theme this year to their music?
Yes, it will be based on the music of Leonard Bernstein.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, yeah,
That's
we're really
great.
excited. Yep.
And always at the end there tends to be a little bit of a John Philip Sousa march, some sing-along at the end as well.
Yes, yep, and I can't give away what the sing-along is, but it always is very festive. We keep an element of surprise for that, but the past 2 years that I have been here, it's been stand up, jump up and down kind of party atmosphere the last 20 minutes of the concert. I actually was quite shocked by it.
Oh my goodness. So what a day to spend out on the green. We know it's going to be sunny. It's not going to be too hot.
Right.
Right?
Promise?
The promise, right. Well, Doug the Quahog has already made that promise, I think. That's one of the 67 days.
Yes. Yes.
So how do people get tickets to this, and you know, what should they do to prepare?
Sure. You can get your ticket at artsfoundation.org online, or you can come into our office on Main Street in Hyannis at 396 Main Street. It's above Rendezvous and Cafe and Puritan Clothing. So you can come upstairs and get a ticket, or you can do it online, or you can give us a call, but artsfoundation.org.
Excellent, and everybody is ready to just party on the green.
We are so ready. It's going to be a great day.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Check out up the Barnstable Village Jailhouse Jam this Wednesday, August 8th at 6 p.m. on the courthouse lawn in Barnstable Village for a Monica Rizzio concert. The Washoe Cowgirl is sure to get your feet tapping and hands clapping. Here's a look at this week's schedule for commissions, committees, and boards. Comments, suggestions, accolades? Connect with us on Facebook and leave us a comment, email us, or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works for you. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.